Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapbookingwithME.com and Me Crafty Scrapper here on YouTube and on Instagram. And today, welcome back to my channel. Today is another episode of M's Scrap Busters. And we are getting out those scraps that are a little bit bigger, or maybe we cut the paper or the cardstock and we were like, yeah, for a different project, and we just put it in our scrap pile and forgot about it. That is what I did with this piece of paper, this piece of cardstock. So we are going to be making things, little expander envelopes with string closures, and unique little string closures. You don't see where it's attached on the outside, so we're just gonna easy peasy attach it to the inside flap, but they have little expanders. So I'm gonna pull the string. There's our little string attached inside our little, and then our expander pocket of our envelope. Cute project. I loved thinking of this one and doing my little blueprint for this one when I thought of it. If y'all are like me, when you think of an idea, you better write it down and write down your thoughts as far as the description of it and what you want it to look like and all that kind of stuff. Because if you don't, you will forget. This one is a little bit bigger. Again, this week does not matter your measurements, what size it is, as long as it can be folded twice to be made into an envelope. So this one has some sheer ribbon as its closure, so it does not have to be twine, and it's attached same way. And then this one I just had like a gusset. So I didn't put a full extender on it. I just put a gusset on it so that it would kind of Pac-Man mouth out for me. And I just decorated them very simply. The flap on this one needed no decoration because it already had that flower and stuff on it. So I'm good with that. So we are going to make envelopes with extenders and string closures. Now I'm using walnut stain as my inker around all the edges. I have another piece of this same cardstock, and I'll make another one from that. Then I have this really thick cardstock from Blue Fern. I'll have to trim up. I wanted to update next week. So you're viewing this video, it's around the October 20th, 21st, 22nd, something like that. If you're of 2021, if you're viewing this video, then next week I'm taking a few days with my family. So if you see fewer videos next week, I'm going to try my best to get M Scrap Busters in next week and scheduled before we leave. But if you see fewer videos from me next week, that is the only reason. I'm just taking a few days. But I'm going to try my best to schedule a couple of videos for next week for y'all to watch while I'm gone. But I did not measure either one of these when I started. Now they are finished. Let's see, 3.5. This one's 2.5 by 3.5. So little tiny beauty that can be added to any pocket of a journal, or you can add these to scrapbook pages, cards, whatever you want to. Of course, they can't be glued in because it's got a string closure. You wouldn't be able to open the string closure if you glued it in, but just tucked into a journal, tucked onto a scrapbook page, in a tuck, whatever. These would be gorgeous. Or you can, for the holidays, make some of these and put gift cards in them. These would be beautiful little gift card holders. Love that idea. So that one was, what did I say? 3.5, 2.5 by 3.5. This one is 4 by 3 1/4. So, you know, like I said, I'm not measuring any of my papers. It's just, is it long? I just look at the scrap and say, is it long enough that I can fold it twice? And, you know, make something that's not micro mini. Because I'm not into all those micro mini things. My hands are just not, I can't get down and do itty bitty little tiny micro stuff. Micro crafts. My hands just wasn't made for that. I cannot do it. Alright, so I'm going to make sure that I've got some straight edges on this, because who knows when I cut this paper the first time if I cut it straight. And look at there, this one is not on this side, so I need to trim that down. Alright, so what you do is super simple. Figure out which side you want as your inside and which side you want as your outside. I think I would like this as my outside. And I'm just going to fold up. Now, also, if you have directional paper, unless you're okay with one piece being upside down, directional paper is not going to work with this. So you need paper that you can go either way with. So like if you had, like that's got Santa Clauses on it. If I fold this twice, at one point Santa Claus is going to be upside down. So I don't recommend using directional paper for this. Alright, so you're going to go and fold your cardstock more than halfway. Like I said, there is no measurements. You can do this without measurements. You can do it. I have faith in you. Okay, and then I left this much of it to just fold over and make that top envelope flap look. Okay, that's all we're doing. No measurement required. But that is my folds. And I will ink them so you can see where they were folded a little better. And that will give you a little bit more insight as to where you need to fold yours. But I'm not measuring anything for this. It's a scrap busting project. Don't take so much time on them. Just do it. So there it is. This piece of paper is 7 7/8 long, and I just folded it around the 5-inch mark and around the 1 3/4 mark. See? So no rhyme or reason, just fold them. Don't worry about that. All right, now I'm going to get my corner rounder. For this one, I did corner rounder on the top flap. This one I did my decorative chomper. This one, oh, let's do, since we've already done corner rounder, let's do ticket corner. Okay, and then we're going to ink everything. And when we get done inking everything, now I'm going to ink my flap. I've already inked my folds. I'm inking the back. And then I'm inking the front all the way down. And then I'm also inking the inside flap, because that's going to be seen like that. Okay, so everything is inked like I like it. And now we're going to make our little expanders for our envelope. Now you will need another piece of scrap paper, cardstock, whatever. Cardstock works a little better, I have found. So if you can get scrap cardstock and like in a neutral color, so like a cream would look good on this, craft, anything neutral that goes along with the colors, because you will be able to see the expanders. On this one I used brown, and see, you can see the expanders on the side, but they're brown and they go along with our little closure circle there, so that went well. So I was good with brown. So on this one I would like to find a piece of craft cardstock to close this one up. All right, and your craft piece of cardstock, you need to have at least 3 inches wide, because that's how wide our expander is. And then all you do have to measure this part. You measure from the bottom of your envelope to the top of this fold up. Okay, so I'm looking at about, and it can be shorter than what your actual amount is. So I'm looking at about, that ruler confuses me, so away it went. I'm looking at about 2 7/8. So I'm going to cut my piece 2 3/4 for this. So 2 3/4. Then I need it 3 inches wide. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the other one. Yeah, Melina, let's go ahead and do the other one. You need 2. You have to have 2 expanders. Okay, so 2 3/4 by 3 inches wide. Now, you'll always need 3 inches wide, but your tallness of your expanders will rely on how big your spot is from here to here. Okay, that flap right there. All right, and then I'm going to get my scoring tool. Now, if you're very, very good and you don't need a scoring tool, go for it. But I'm putting my 3-inch piece here, and I am scoring at 3/4, 1 1/2, and 2 1/4. Okay, so 3/4, 1 1/2, and 2 1/4. 3/4, 1 1/2, and 2 1/4. Okay, said that slowly at the end because I did have a few that said that when I do give measurements, I give them too fast. So there was a very slow measurement given to you. And I understand if you're wanting to write the measurement down, of course you want it slower so that you can get it correct. All right, so we've got our 3 score lines, and I'm just going to fold in a zigzag. Okay, so you've got 2 tents set up, or you've got 2 mountain peaks in 1 valley. Okay, 2 mountain peaks in 1 valley. Score them. Okay, and then do the other. You need 2 mountain peaks and a valley. All right, and then I did cut these down shorter than what this actual piece is, just because I didn't want it running into that flap that's right there. Okay, so that's going to fit nicely. The next question is, do you want to see the 2 mountains on the inside or the outside? Now, I have the 2 mountains on the outside, and I have the valley inside. Okay, if I turn it this way, it will open up and the two mountains are on the inside. I want to do it that way this time, just to show you the difference. And you pick whichever one works best for you. That one is fine with me. Some people might say that's totally wrong and you have to have the valley sticking out. I don't know. I don't know what the exact right way is, but I just know what works for me, and that's how I do it. So that's why when I get comments about you should have done it this way or that's not the correct way to do it, I just say thanks for watching, because who's to say that how I do something is the wrong way? If it makes me happy and it works for me, we're good, okay? So we're going to put this in so that the two mountain tops are facing inward, okay? Our two mountain peaks are facing inside the envelope. All right, and then I am going to put it down with some liquid glue. Now, if you want to use double-sided tape, you can. Whatever works for you, go for it. Okay, and for me, I ink the side that is going to go out just to remind me after I glue it. Hey, you dummy. That's inked. That will show on the outside, so put it that way. All right, and then you're just going to go all the way to the edge of your paper, cardstock, whatever, that way. Okay. And then you'll wipe off your excess glue in a minute. Let it sit there for a second. I've got that one inked, so I know it goes outward. And then my two mountain peaks go inward. So I'm going to put glue on the one side and put it all the way to the edge, making sure that you're not going over that fold line there. And with liquid glue, you have a little bit of forgiveness time. That's what I like about it as far as putting in a gusset or an expander. All right, then you're going to put glue on this other end, both sides, and you are going to hold down your flaps, making sure not to get into that fold there, and then you're going to fold it up, make sure that the sides meet, and just hold it down. And you'll need to hold down, if you're using liquid glue, you'll need to hold down for a few seconds just to make sure that it's holding right, or bonding correctly, I guess I should say. All right. Give it just a couple of more seconds, and I think we will be good. And then you can see, I'll show you the difference on the inside of both of these. We have Expander 1 with the valley inside, okay, which is what I like. And then we have Expander 2 where the valley is sticking outward, and that is the one I don't like. You have more room inside with the valley on the inside of the envelope than you do with the valley sticking out from the envelope. Okay, so like with this one, if you wanted to put a gift card down in it, that gift card would have to be just the width between your two valleys that are peeking out, because there's no more room in there. It's all done. So that's the difference there. This one is still a nice expander envelope. We can still get goodies down in there. That would be a cute place to put some hidden journaling, or you could add in some ephemera and put this in a journal and have it in there as an ephemera holder. Be very cute like that. But my expanders will have the valleys pointing in from now on. But I did want to do it this way to show you the difference. All right, now decoration. These are so easy to decorate. Y'all know me in decorating. I always tell you, always, 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 always. My husband gets on to me for using always. He goes, when I do things like that. I always, though, with this, things like this, I love making the actual item. The decorating is a thorn in my side most days. But these are tiny enough that they don't need too much decoration. So this one is fun. Usually it's not so fun. Decorating, not so fun sometimes. Okay, I got a little piece of book page. Let's see, I've got this little bag of die cut. I say little bag, it's pretty big. And they have bigger die cuts in them, but some of the die cuts inside are small. So I was looking to see, that's where I got the stuff for that one. If there was something in here that I could use, because I'm trying to use up these die cuts. I love that little playing card die cut. That's cute. It's got splatters on it. See, these are all too big for these things. But I do like that on there. It brings out the blue that is in the pattern paper. Let's do, nah. Right, and then I think I will use this little die cut. I'm going to cut off that tag form that's on it and fussy cut out these little leaves here, and there we go. There. And then ink this just a little bit, not too much, because it is a beautiful die cut, floral die cut. And go ahead and put this one as decoration here. Make sure the flap doesn't get into it. Okay, and then wipe off our excess. And then add our book page piece that we inked, and then that cute little vellum piece. And I'm going to add double-sided tape to the back of that vellum piece. Anybody that has watched me before, you know I don't really like how liquid glue makes vellum kind of buckle up. I don't like that at all. So I'd rather be able to see the tape just a touch behind it than use liquid glue on vellum. So there is that. I think that is so pretty. I like that one. Even though the inside expander is not how I want it. Alright, so for the inside, as far as your string closure, we used craft paper as our expander. So I'm going to get my 5/8 inch circle punch and punch me out a little circle. If you want to ink the edges, you can. I mean, the only time it's going to be seen is when your flap's open, but go for it. So there we go. I inked the edges, and I want to just use my white string, crochet string, thread, whatever. I'm going to act like it's adhered in there. Just put it up. I just put it up underneath the flap, and then I'm going to wrap it 1, 2, 3 times, and then come over again and give myself all the way to the end again. And then I'm going to take one end of my string or ribbon or lace or whatever you use to close your envelope and try to get it to the middle, which that is not. Okay, and just put a little piece of your string down, and then a little more glue on top of the string. And you're going to sandwich that circle on top. Move it over if you need to. Okay, I'm about good right there. I think that's fine. Okay, and then just hold that down for a few seconds. The longest part of this project is holding it down and letting your glue set. That's the longest part. That's what takes the longest on this. Everything else is super, super simple. I love these little envelopes. Okay, so very gingerly close your envelope, making sure that the circle cannot be seen from the outside. And you can wrap around. Now you can wrap yours as many times as you want. I think on one of those I just wrapped it twice, and that's fine too. So whatever you want to do. And then what you have left over in the front, you just pull a little taut. And there is your closure for your little envelope. Very cute, I think. Okay, I'm going to leave this one open and let that glue dry for the closure. And while we're doing that, we can make another. So 1, 2, 3, and then through one of your other ones, and then pull tight, and that's your closure. Very, very easy. Okay, this is another piece of that one. And I would like for this flower to be visible whenever you open up that top flap. So I'm going to fold up this way and just eyeballing how much I want of a flap there. So I'm going to fold it off there and then come up and fold over that fold I just made, and making sure that both sides meet easily. Okay, like that. And then you essentially have your envelope shape. And are these the same size? Oh, look, they are almost the exact same size. And I just got the flap a little bit lower on this one, and that's fine. We just make it how we want to. And I think I just want to round the corners of this flap because that looks good on that one. Okay, and then I'm going to ink all of my edges with my walnut stain ink. I love the walnut stain right now. It just gives some really nice color to the edges, where the vintage photo would give like a more brown tan look. This one has a darker, like espresso look to it. It's a very pretty ink. And we have this in the shop. So if anybody does not have walnut stain, or you need a re-inker for your walnut stain, we have both in the shop, scrapbookingwithme.com. And anytime I mention that, please know that you can find the link in my description box below. Always. On this one, look at there. I didn't ink my top flap. I just thought of that when I looked at the top flap on this one. So top flap there. Now let's go ahead and do this top flap before we get that expander in there. Okay, and then ink the inside flap at the top. All right, see how much that just stands out with that walnut stain just around the edges. I love that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make my expanders for this one out of craft. I'm going to go ahead and punch my 5/8 inch circle punch. And go ahead and ink the little edges of this tiny little circle. Okay, and I will close it with, I think I'm going to be very, very extra and use this. This is very pretty. I used this in a previous video. I love this trim. And where I got it from, who knows? I want this to dry so that we can see the finished closure. So I'm going to go ahead and put my string on, my ribbon, trim, whatever, on here. And it's okay if it sticks out a little bit below the circle. I'm good with that. That just lets me know that I've got plenty underneath this circle that's going to be holding that on good. And it needs to be scooched over just a touch. Okay, and I'm going to try to leave that string alone and let that dry. And then I'm working on extenders, or yeah, the expanders on the side. And so I need, it is 2 1/4, so I'm going to go 2 1/8 on my expanders. Now remember, you measure your own expanders. Don't go by my measurements because your envelope is going to be different. All right, so I need 2 1/4. No, I need 2 1/8. That's 2 1/4. Let's go split the difference. 2 1/4. And then I need it 3 inches. So barely a little bitty sliver off of that one. All right, and then I need another one, 2 1/8 by 3 inches wide. Always 3 inches wide as far as my measurements go for this project. And then just go however high your flap is, your front flap is. And then score at 3/4, 1 1/2, and 2 1/4. And then 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 1/4. And then fold, fold, fold. Burnish down your folds. And then fold, fold, fold. Burnish down your folds. Okay. Then I'm going to ink both of my mountain peaks. Like that. Both mountain peaks. Okay. That way I know that those go outside. My valley goes inside. All right. And then mountain peaks are inked, so they go on the outside. And then just kind of line them up so that they are the same across. Same here and close to that fold line. Okay, and just hold down for a few seconds. Then put your adhesive, whatever you're using, on the other flaps. Hold down, and then close up and make sure everything is at the edge and lined up. And then you're just going to hold that down for a few seconds. Okay, and then there we have the great way I like to make expanders. Look how much room you have in there. I love that. Okay, now let's do some decorating. And I have used book page on every one of these, and I just think it looks beautiful, so I'm going to use more book page. You use whatever you would like to decorate your little scrappy envelopes. I just think these are too cute and can be used in so many ways. They can be given as gifts if you wanted to do that. Put birthday money down in them. And then they have their gift and a handmade gift from you. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to ink the edges of that and go ahead and glue that on. And then I'll come up with some kind of die cut to put on the outside. I know with all of these decorations, I have not once used a butterfly. That might have to change. Because I love my butterflies. Okay, and I put that just a little lower so that when you close this, you get, you know, that peeking out from the bottom. And then, let's see. And I like this little butterfly sticker. So I will try my best to get the backing off of it. When the backing and the actual sticker itself is the exact same size, that's where I struggle. Great goodness, it takes forever. Okay, that one was not as bad as some others. Okay, I'm going to hang this off just a touch there. And just kind of fold it around. Because if I put it too far up, you wouldn't be able to see the butterfly at all when you close the flap. Alright, and then I think I want to put another piece of lace on the top like I did this one. So these have very similar tops or decorations on them. Okay, let's see if we can get this added on to that. Yeah, that's cute. I like that. And it's got a little bit of tea staining on it too. And I will get out my Fabrifix and just put that all the way across my envelope flap. And I am not the biggest lover of lace. I know that there are plenty of junk journalers that are. But I'm just not the biggest lover of lace. But that is cute. That little bit of lace is fine. So I'm going to wrap my ribbon. And then come back around and do a little tuck in. Like so. And pull. And that closes my little envelope. So there are the expander envelopes with string closures made from your scraps. I love this little project and I love using up scraps. Y'all know that. So, and of course the stiffer your string is, your ribbon is, the harder it's going to be for that little tuck to stay. So great little envelopes. You can make them as big or as little as you want. And as long as you've got some scrap paper or cardstock in your stash to make your expanders, make them as tall as you want to. I love these little expander envelopes with string closures. I want to see yours. Make sure to use the hashtag #MsScrapBusters so that I can find your video, your picture, whatever you share on whatever social media platform you use. Of course, now I'm not on Twitter, so if you put it on Twitter, I can't see that. But any other I am on, and just use that hashtag #MsScrapBusters. And I will be sure to find you and leave you some love. I want to see your creations. And let me know how you like these expander envelopes with string closures made from scraps. Love y'all. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. God bless. Bye y'all.